What's up, Bug Dog Houdini in the garage? I had an interesting experience today, and I'd like to share it with y'all because I think some of you could definitely benefit from this experience. This is a blade adapter on an old Roper lawnmower I'm rebuilding on my other channel. If you want to leave a link right there. It's kind of a weird size one. These go on the shaft, and then the blade goes on there, and the wings make sure it can't swivel around and move too much. No big deal. I had to get this pulled off so I could disassemble the thing, but problem is these are underneath the deck in the mud and the blood and the beer. They're rusted on there. They got old grass and crap all in there. Long story short, needed a puller. Didn't have a puller the right size because this is kind of a weird one. Didn't have the right size. So I went over to, what do they call it? Harbor Freight there, and I figured out 20 bucks. I'll get another puller. On the screen right now is the puller they had that would do the job. They wanted $16 for it, and I was staring at this thing. I mean, it would have done the job, and it probably would have done a couple other jobs. I think it was technically a Pitman arm puller. Needed one that was just a little wider than my tie rod end puller, which would be this guy. I bought this at either Harbor Freight or AutoZone or something a couple years ago. And again, it's the cheapest option. Probably paid 20, 25 bucks for it, something like that. Needed one that was just an ish, not even an inch larger. Okay, so I'm standing there with this other one, not this one, the bigger one in my hand. I'm about to buy it. I'm about to get in the line. It's at 16 bucks. Let me just check real quick. So I jumped on Craigslist, I jumped on Facebook Marketplace, and lo and behold, not even a 10-minute ride from where I work, somebody was selling these three pullers for $10. Not $10 a piece, $10 collectively. So I said, let's go and take a little ride. And maybe they're all junked up or something. I don't know. Maybe I got to go right back to Harbor Freight. But let's give it a shot. Because I'd sure rather have three as opposed to one. And then I got there and I saw the three in question, and whoo, buddy buck, I'll tell you what. Because these three units right here that I paid $5 less for a set of three than I would have paid for one, these are light years higher quality than what I would have got at the Harbor Freight. And that's not a subjective statement, it's fact, it's objective. These right here, these new style, are cast in some kind of alloy to be cheap and just strong enough to, you know, make it through half a job. Whereas this right here, these three, now I couldn't find details on all of them. This one right here is a New Britain, part number P-150-D. It is a two-piece reversible. You can take these off and reverse your jaws. Two-jaw puller. You can buy one on eBay for 10 bucks. You're going to cost another $10 in shipping. That is a come-up. There's nothing, this little guy right here. This one's actually really interesting. I love this one to death. So you can, if you crank this all the way down, it'll kind of seat this extra piece of metal there, so you don't have to worry about it. But as you tighten this, it naturally wants to close the jaws. I mean, you don't see these anymore, really. Go and get a puller today. The expensive ones look like this, and the inexpensive ones look like this. If you go to buy a new puller today, they don't sell stuff like this. I mean, this is a great little tool. And the size, you don't see small little pullers like that. I mean, I am just ecstatic. I'm in love with this thing. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight thinking about this little doll. I gotta do some more research. If anyone has any info on this, I would love to know. The only info on it, it says OK-D number 202, made in USA, because that's the other thing, right? This New Britain, made in the USA. This guy, made in the USA. They don't even tell you where it was made in. I don't even think it was made in China. It's not even good enough to be made in China. The communists wouldn't even put their name on it. Now, this unit's really neat because obviously this hex bolt on top is what, you know, pushes the middle in, and that's what creates the pulling action. But then you have this threaded cone, and the idea is you would thread this down, and that would tighten your jaws tight. Now, the problem is this cone is, I don't know if it's seized or it's not spinning, and it should. So what we're gonna do is very gently, we're gonna put that guy in the vise there. Let's see, do we wanna use PB Blaster? I guess we'll use PB Blaster, right? Ooh, wow, we are severely limited on the PB Blaster front. We really don't need a lot. There we go. That should do her. Now let's get something like these guys. Whoa. Too much. Too much mustard. Tighten your vise down, Jerry. Come on. There we go. It's a beautiful thing. I knew it'd be a nice, easy fix. Just needed... Now, the interesting thing, the guy I got these from, that's the other good thing about getting some from Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You get a little provenance with the tool you're buying. So this guy was a butcher, so he had acquired these over the course of his career. He used them for removing the pulleys off of, wow, that thing is real stiff, off of bandsaws, you know, butcher's bandsaws. So that's kind of cool, man. It's potentially another reason these are all in such good shape, because they didn't really live in some jabroni's truck. I don't know. So why did I bother sharing this with you today? Did I just feel like making a video? Sometimes. Not today, though. The long and the short of it is, if I had just stopped at Harbor Freight, I would have got an affordable tool. I mean, $16 for a little puller. It's no big deal. But I highly recommend, if you're looking for a tool, hand tool, one-off tool, go on Craigslist, go on Facebook Marketplace, go to your local thrift store. I mean, whatever you can do, because the reality is, new tools, they just keep getting cheaper and cheaper. And we're at the point, I mean, this isn't groundbreaking news here, but even the good brands are crap most of the time. It's gotten to the point where if you're going to spend money on a tool, you really need to research, is that tool what it used to be, what it should be, you know? This thing's really giving me a run for my gosh darn money here. It's a skill. What we're discussing is a skill. Like Eric. Eric is one of the best negotiators I know. Whether he's buying something or selling something, Eric is always going to get the best deal. All right. Now, being able to buy tools is a skill too, because it's not easy. You go into the store, well, you know, you can buy the Festool or Festoon or whatever the name of that thing is. Yeah, you can get that one, but it's $1,200. Similarly, you can get the you know, the skill one that basically runs on 2 AA batteries, but is it really going to get you anywhere down the line? So the skill that we're discussing here is knowing, when do you go to the Harbor Freight? When do you try to find something a little old? Now, I fancy myself just a little bit of a collector, so I always try to check Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever beforehand. I didn't this time, but I'm glad I thought to, because as good and totally viable as another one of these would have been, 3-for-1's a no-brainer. So, let me know down there in the squawk box. This isn't the first video like this I've done. I'll leave a link to another one. Wife and I, we do antique shopping every once in a while, and you got to know. I mean, sometimes when you see the chowdered up screwdriver that looks like it was used to pry bricks out of the yellow brick road, and they want $5 for it, leave that one. You don't need that one. When the butcher is selling 3 pristine pullers that were kept, you know, in a desk drawer in a butcher shop, yeah, hit me up. So what is the best find you've gotten, whether it's Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, side of the road, middle of the road, whatever have you. You know, you bring stuff home and you got to do little stuff like this where you clean it up. This one might have been one that was kept outside, because I think this was a bit of a dirt situation that was keeping it. But I'm going to take her over to the wire brush, and she'll be in fighting shape in no time. Let me comment down in the squawk boxes if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, watch some more of our videos, and definitely go check out my other channel if you want to see me use this puller. Actually, I think I used this one to get it off. We're building a go-kart. Oh shoot, was I supposed to tell you that? We're building a go-kart out of an old lawnmower over on that channel. So if you want to see that, well, go on. I gotta go wing this on the wire wheel. Hey, I like my new safety squints. Some bad boys off Amazon for like 20 bucks.